Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Alicia, and I am here to say today is your lucky day. So, anybody who's joining me, I just want to say congratulations, you made it here today because this is part 7 today, is part 7 of a 14-week series that I decided to do. And on Monday, I forgot to hit record. So I forgot to hit record, but today you're going to get a snapshot of all of the things that I have been talking about, as well as the topic for today, which is about avoidance. Avoidance. And so if you're joining me, please tell me where you're coming from in the chat. Put your name and what city you are viewing me from. But today I'm like super excited. I get to talk about how we avoid things, why avoidance feels like relief, but actually it is a trap. So we're going to talk about a trap. I'd like for all of you guys to put in the chat, what are you afraid of? What are some of the things that you know you need to be doing, but you ain't doing? And put that in the chat because we're going to work on it today. So any of you guys who are afraid of something, who know you need to have a conversation and you're not having that conversation, if you know you need to do something and you've been stuck because you've been afraid, whether you are conscious about it or not, you know you can't move forward. Today is the day where you get to learn exactly how to overcome it. So isn't that cool for today? Okay, so let's get started. I do have slides that I share for you guys. So I want to share my slides. Let me try to figure out how to do this. Let's see, share my screen. Oh, look at this. I can put my slide. I didn't even put, okay, let me upload my slides here. Let's see, upload file. Fear. Yes, I see. Okay, so I am going to upload my slides so that we all can see what they're going to be today. Processing. Hello, Nev's boy in fear. You got fear. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Tell us, Nev's boy. What is it that you're afraid of? And welcome this morning. You got up this morning to join me today, and I really appreciate that. Okay, so I'm going to have my slides here. Everybody can see. Can everybody see in here? Here are my slides. And if you want to have access to this 14-week course, if you want to have access to this 14-week course, let me put the link in so that you can at least have it ready. I do have a coupon code here, and you get a whole bunch off. You get a discount for my mistake of not hitting record when I needed to put record. So let me put that in the link here for everybody. Hey, Dr. Vibe, how you doing? There I go. Okay, so that is, oh, it's a long link, but click on that link and it will have the coupon code there for anybody who wants to have access to it. Let me remove my banner so everybody can see. Yes, let me remove my banner so everybody can see. And let's get started because it is 5 minutes past the hour and I want us to get into this discussion today about how we can overcome our fears. So, okay, so I think, let's get started. Okay, so I think avoidance, sometimes when we avoid things, sometimes avoidance is almost like wearing a nice, polite outfit. And you know that you keep saying you're going to do something, but you end up changing your mind at the last minute and you say, I don't think I'm ready yet. I don't feel like I'm ready. And so today we are going to understand exactly what is it that keeps us stuck. We're going to learn about how to create safety for ourselves and how to push forward and unstick ourselves, right? So, it's understandable. And sometimes when we have fear, it fear can quietly keep us stuck. So that's what we're doing today. This is week 7 of the active ingredients of healing course that I'm teaching. And we are at week 7. We're in the middle of the week. Hey there, how you doing? In the middle of our course. And so we have 7 more sessions to talk about the active ingredients. What does it take for us to overcome all of our mental health challenges, all of our physical challenges? Those are the things in which we're going to talk about today. Okay, so let's move on. See if I can figure out how to go here. Yes. Okay. So if you're new here and if you're new to listening to me talk about the course, I want to say welcome. This is part of my course, like I talked about before, the active ingredients of healing. What actually helps us to get better. It's evidence-based. We are exploring how healing and recovery actually can happen across all of the different challenges in our life. And so the coupon code is in the comments. Let me put it in there again. Put the coupon code in there again, and you get a discount of the course. I want to say hey to everybody. Hi, Gloria from Virginia. How you doing? Hey, good morning. Sharice, hey, good morning. Tell me where you're coming from, Sharice. I want to know. Elizabeth from Los Angeles. Welcome, everybody. Y'all coming in. Put it in the chat. Type in the chat. What are something that you are afraid of? Let me know what you are afraid of. And we'll have a conversation about how to overcome that today. Hey, Sharice from Jersey. Hey, New Jersey. And Mia from Brooklyn. What's up? Maryland. Hope from Maryland. What? We got the East Coast representing this morning, maybe because it's like 9 o'clock your time. It is super early on the West Coast. So yeah, so welcome everybody. Okay, let's get started with the content for today. So the big idea for today is that, avoidance is not at all something random. It is really your nervous system that's trying to protect you. So the problem is that when you know you need to do something and you don't do it, and then you step back and say, I'm not going to do it. What happens is that level of avoidance prevents you from learning something new, prevents you from having new experiences, and it keeps you in this comfort zone. So what happens is that after several years go by and you want to apply for that job, but you don't because you're afraid, maybe I can't survive this, or maybe they won't like me, or maybe I just can't cope. Yes, Jessica, thanks for telling us. Afraid of not accomplishing your dreams. You have dreams and things that you want to do, but as soon as you take that first step, you start to get scared, and that fear makes you step back. And so what happens is that the key of what we're going to talk about today is how to heal from that, because healing is staying present long enough to discover safety. So let me give you an example. How many of you guys stop going out to certain social events because you don't want to feel awkward? How many of you guys delay applying for a certain job because you don't want to be rejected? How many of you are in a relationship and you avoid having conversations because you can feel relief? Well, the issue is that if you stop going out because you don't want to feel awkward, you have short-term relief. But in the long run, what are you sacrificing? You're sacrificing the opportunity to meet people. You're sacrificing the opportunity to have new experiences. And your brain starts to decide people equal danger. New people equal danger. If you don't apply for that job, if you delay applying for that job because you don't want rejection, So, not applying for that job gives you relief in the current situation, but later on, you're missing out on opportunities. And your brain is thinking opportunities are threatening. So, you're reinforcing this position of being stuck. And when you wake up in the morning, you have dreams, right? Hey, how you doing? Hope said, I was about to comment and say I've been hesitant sticking another job, another high paying job because of the convenience and flexibility I have with my current job. Okay, well, maybe that's what you tell yourself, but maybe unconsciously there's this comfort level in the norm, the status quo. And that's a choice that I give a lot of my clients. I say you can either adhere to the status quo or you can decide to do something different. And sometimes it is scary to do something different. So even if you are avoiding, those of you in relationships, you avoid having hard conversations. In the present, you feel relief, but later the relationship will continue to feel unsafe. Why? Because you're not having those conversations and nothing gets repaired. So, what does this mean? This means avoidance is protection that often outlives its purpose. Okay, so what does avoidance do? Avoidance is not only running away, it can be mental, it can be emotional, and it also can be social. So we look at procrastination. Procrastination, canceling plans, waiting to the last minute to do something, or shutting down. So you cancel that doctor's appointment. You don't answer that text message that you know you need to answer. You disappear when something matters. How many of you guys procrastinate? I know I do. It's tax season, y'all. I'm already procrastinating. I do not like going through tax season, but I procrastinate. However, I start to feel anxious and I go, okay, I know I got to get my taxes done. Let me contact my tax accountant and let me go ahead and send her the information that I need to send her, and then I'll feel better. But in the short term, by avoiding digging into my taxes, it feels good in the short term by procrastinating. But in the long term, it's damaging my mental health because I'm worried about it and I know it needs to get done. And we all know it needs to get done. So that's what happens. Procrastination. Sometimes we overthink. How many of y'all overthinkers there? I say Danielle has identified herself. How many of you guys overthink? So for instance, you need to send an email and you're overthinking it and you research what to do and you spend 2 hours sending an email that takes you like 5 minutes to do, and your worry becomes the activity that keeps you from sending that email. It keeps you from things. Overthinkers Anonymous. Thank you, Mom and Me Life. Yes. Sometimes we overthink things and that cripples us from getting things done. And, I'm with you, overthinking, you look back on it once you finally get it done and you're like, why was I overthinking? Like I was making way more out of that than it needed to be. So that happens. Also, readiness is also another aspect. It's like sometimes readiness can be a moving target. You're waiting for fear to go away before you can actually live. So which one are you most? Which one of you are cancel? And how many of you guys wait until you feel you are ready? You operate on feelings when actually it's just the fear that's stopping you. Readiness for me, yeah, beyond the busyness. Thank you. It's more about making time to do it well. Yes. But you really just need to go through with it. A lot of people, one thing I've learned about being an entrepreneur and starting things, all y'all entrepreneurs out there, entrepreneurs always feel like I'm not ready yet. I want to send my link out, but I'm not ready. And my big advice to you guys is to do it. Just do it anyway. Even though you're scared, post that video, even though all the videos I post on social media. By the way, if you want to follow me on social media, let me show you how to do it. It's cringy to me. It is so cringy sometimes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here I am on social media at Coaching with Dr. Alicia. All the videos I post, especially the ones that get a lot of attention, I always feel nervous about it. I feel like I'm not ready. It's cringy, but I do it anyway. So today we're going to learn about how to do it anyway, because really what happens is that avoidance, not doing it, it strengthens your fear. Believe it or not, it's a paradox. The more you avoid something, the more the fear goes up. So the thing is that avoidance gives short-term relief because your body calms down. So your brain thinks that worked. But what happens is that it reinforces the belief that you are not strong enough to handle it. That is a lie that gets reinforced when you avoid. So the next time any of y'all supposed to do what you're supposed to do, you don't feel like you're ready, you overthink things and you worry about things, you have to consciously tell yourself, oh my goodness, the more I avoid, the more I think I'm not able and strong enough to handle it. It blocks the evidence that you can cope. So every time you feel anxious, when you leave, your brain concludes, leaving is what saved me. I can't handle this. That's what happens. But relief isn't the same thing as healing, because sometimes healing requires you to get into some discomfort. So the question is that how do I step into discomfort so that I can heal and not be stuck anymore? Let's figure this out. Okay, so exposure, how exposure works. So fear creates fear memories, and your body reacts to those reminders. So exposure builds a whole new way of coping, and that compete with all of your fear memories. So as soon as you expose yourself, you start to feel confident. You start to feel good about yourself. You look back on it and say, why was I worried? Why was I avoiding all of that time? You are relearning yourself. Your brain is relearning. So the goal is not to erase all of the fear. It is to increase choices and your capability. So for example, I'm teaching my daughter, she's 15 years old, she's taking driver's ed. And so I'm teaching her how to drive, you know? So, she is, getting behind the wheel for the first time and she's a little nervous. And so I just have her to relax. I said, okay, take a deep breath and let's relax. It's okay. You can do it. Let's do it anyway. And so the more she's driving, and the more she gets practice in, and little Tay, who was like 9 and 10 years old just the other day, she's 15, about to turn 16 and get her driver's license. So she has got to drive. She's got to drive when it's raining outside, like today in Chicago, it's a rainy day. So I'm going to have her drive because even though she's nervous about driving, I want her to continue to do it in a relaxed body, so that she can start feeling capable, because the more she avoids driving, the more her fear increases. So her body, might scream danger. Oh my goodness, a truck is coming. Oh my goodness, this car is coming this way. Over time, Tay is going to learn, I'm driving and I'm okay. And so that is what you have to apply to yourself when you're doing something new and you're facing something outside of your comfort zone. Just say, my body is learning something new. Public speaking, you know how hard it is to get on YouTube and talk. If you avoid, your body is learning that it's okay to be afraid, but just going out there and doing it, even though your heart is beating really fast, you can still speak. And that is capability. So we're not forcing you, we're training your system gently. And that is the key to healing. Okay, so let's just get into it a little bit more. Oh, it's almost the bottom of the hour. So let's get into it a little bit more. So, this graded exposure means we start where challenging but doable. So you start. That's what the graded exposure that y'all can think about doing if you're afraid is to start where it's challenging but doable. Maybe like with my daughter, I had her drive around the block. Just drive around the block. She didn't go out of the I guess we live in a suburb, kind of like a housing area. She didn't have to drive outside of that. All she had to do was go around the block. So it's not so scary. There's not a lot of traffic. So she was able to do that. And after a while, when we drove around the block, we went up to the clubhouse and she drove to the clubhouse and back. So she stayed long enough to build up her confidence to say, hey, I can stay with this. And she repeats this over and over again until her brain starts to learn, okay, it's not an emergency. I am capable of at least driving around the block. I'm capable of driving down the street to the clubhouse and back. So it's like not driving would be detrimental. So suppose, for example, you don't want to go to a party because you're not sure where everybody is. So not going to the party and staying for like an hour, for 3 hours, that could be overwhelming. Well, maybe you could go to that party, even though there's people that you don't know. You can just say, you know what? I'm going to go for a half hour instead of 3 hours. I'll go for a half hour. And then you breathe. And then maybe you leave. And then maybe there's another social gathering. And then you go again and maybe you stay for 15 minutes. And then you breathe. And then you leave. And then eventually you work up to going to a party. And pretty soon you can go to that party for 3 years. For 3 hours. Sorry, not 3 years. For 3 hours, you can go to that party and have a good time. You've built up that confidence. That's what graded exposure. Y'all can use that. Graded exposure. So let's see. Let me see. Readiness. You think long, you think wrong. Oh my God. Most men don't overthink. Yeah, sometimes they don't, but that doesn't mean that they don't have anxiety. So, that's something to think about. If you're avoiding certain things and you start to get worried about it, you can just go for a little bit. Tell yourself, I don't have to be there all the time. So it's almost like you're building a ladder. So, when we don't just jump into the hardest thing, like I wouldn't put my daughter in the car and then have her drive on a highway, traffic and cars going 70 miles an hour. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't jump her into the hardest thing. I build a ladder for her. And that's what you guys do. If you are avoiding something, I would do on the top of the ladder, I would have driving on the highway. That is really maybe like an 80 on anxiety, driving on a highway. But maybe at the bottom of the ladder, it's driving around the block one time. And then when you start to, get comfortable with that, then I said, okay, Taylor, let's just go down the street. Let's go down the street and back. She actually drove to dance. She's a dancer. She does competitive dance. So she drove to her dance studio and back, which is like five minutes from the house. So she was able to go up this ladder and stop avoiding. So in the chat, what's one thing that you guys are avoiding that you can use this gradient exposure? Is it a phone call? Is it dating? How many of you guys are worried about dating? Is it going to the gym? Is it driving? What is it? Tell me what is it that you could do? Like, for instance, if you avoid difficult conversations, some of us avoid difficult conversations. Maybe having a full-on conversation about something that's worrying you, maybe that would be at the top of the ladder. Maybe at the bottom of the ladder, it's texting 3 sentences, or practicing it out loud. You can practice out loud. Maybe it's sending a longer text. Maybe it's having a 5-minute talk, in a full-on conversation. So you can going to the gym. Really, you'd be surprised. Sometimes people feel anxious about their body. So maybe going to the gym, maybe you get a gym at home. You put on your gym clothes at home. Maybe you, if we were Phyllis and her worry, she's avoiding going to the gym, maybe she can, instead of going into the gym, maybe she can just put on her gym clothes and walk around the neighborhood. Or maybe she can go to the gym parking lot and breathing. Maybe she goes to the gym eventually and just go to the gym for 10 minutes, do one set of exercises and then leave. And then maybe eventually she can work up to signing up for a class, or maybe she can do a 20-minute workout. This is what's cool. It's like the one thing that you're avoiding, you cannot do it. Talking to your husband about money, because we have different views. Thank you, Beyond the Busyness. Maybe you could send each other messages. Or maybe you can write it down in a notebook. That's a great way to have hard conversations with people, writing it in a notebook and handing it to him, and then have him respond. And then you are able to open it and look at it and think about it and breathe deeply. And then you can make a thoughtful response and you write it in a notebook and give it back to him. That's a beautiful thing you can do beyond the busyness. It's excellent. Whatever it is, this is a great way to deal with your worry and your avoidance where it's doable and small. Yes, you can do that, because the key here is exposure without skills can feel overwhelming. That's why we pair this with regulation. Breathing in and out of your body and releasing. So the win is, I can feel the activation, I can feel the nervousness, but I'm going to stay with it. And I'm going to stay with myself. So maybe if your heart's racing, the old you would leave the situation, but the new you is not going to leave the situation. You're going to stay in the moment and practice deep breathing. Because when you stay in the moment, although it may be worrisome, maybe you're writing that message to your husband beyond the busyness. Take a deep breath, stay there, write the message anyway, but teach your body something new by breathing through it. And then you send the message. And then eventually you can work up to a full-on conversation with your husband about money. I mean, these are things that actually work. I use this these are things that I use in my practice. It is actually effective. Going back to school to acquire my master's because you don't want to fail. Elizabeth, thank you for disclosing. Maybe the first thing you need to do is attend an open house. Figure out where you want to go and just say, you know what? I'm going to attend 3 open houses. so that I can decide which master's program I want to go to. Like, those are great baby steps. Yes, Tiffany, baby steps. Maybe that's what it is. Because the thought was placed in your head to get your master's degree. You can't ignore that. We live once. We only live once. So what it costs you if you start to avoid. Okay. So let's move on to relaxation. So, using relaxation skills is so important. Breathing deeply and breathing out, even before you embark. So, before my daughter got into the car, I sat with her and I said, okay, we're going to drive now to your dance studio that's 5 minutes away. Let's take a deep breath in and let's take a deep breath out, So before she got into the car, we did some relaxation. When she got in the car and she had to go out to this busy intersection, I remain calm, take a deep breath in and out. Before you do that, before you write that note, deep breath. Before you open that email, before you walk into that doctor's appointment, before you go into the gym, you take this deep breath out. Mindfulness. Yes, Dennis knows. Dennis has been with me for a while. That's the same Dennis. Dennis knows. But these are the things that you can do. And, the key to the deep breathing is figuring out when you're at a 9 out of a 10 versus a 3 out of a 10. How about that? So, what are your symptoms? How do you know you're at a 10 for worry and anxiety? A lot of us know we're at a 10 because our heart starts racing, we start sweating, our hands get moist, we have a pit in our stomach, our mind is racing. When you're at a 10, you need to step away. Okay? If you're already at a 10 and you start just having panic symptoms, I think that is a good time to step away. The key is go back to the situation, something that's doable for you. And if you practice this relaxation, you can start figuring out, oh my goodness, I am at a 3 out of a 10 for worry. Let me try to get back to a 1. Or I'm up at a 5. Oh my goodness. Let me try to get back. Because if you wait until you're already at this big anxious moment, there's stress chemicals going through your brain. The cortisol is coming through your body and you're no longer operating rationally. The key is that once you're triggered and you're out and the worry is crippling, it's too late at that point. You're already releasing the stress hormones in your body and you have to wait at least 20 minutes for it to flush through your body. And then you just relax and then you return to a relaxed state and then you try to be brave enough to do it again, but in a relaxed body. The key is that if you are in a relaxed body, you'll never experience stress again. That is the simple but not easy answer to most of your mental health challenges. Is to be in a relaxed body, because as soon as you get triggered, you're no longer operating out of your wise mind. You're operating out of panic. Okay. So the deep breathing, you should practice it. Practice the mindfulness as Dennis talked about. Hey, Black Lexicon, how you doing? Operating out of that way. Okay. All right. Let me see what some of the comments are saying. Hey, Tiffany. I see Tiffany, Mia, and all the ladies are in the chat. All the ladies are in the chat encouraging each other. So we are talking about, I just want to give a recap of what we're talking about. We are talking about how avoidance feels like relief in the short term, but it's really a trap. And so the purpose of our conversation here today is to talk about one of the active ingredients to healing, the essentials of how to maintain stable presence in your body and maintain wellness. How to maintain wellness and making sure that you capitalize on all of the strengths that you have. All of us have strengths. Capitalize on that so that we can maintain a great sense of wellness and we can walk through life calm, cool, collected, and confident. This is the essential ingredients. And for any of you guys that want to join our class, because we've been breaking it down, we are breaking it down. Today is just one little week one element of the active ingredients of healing. I'm going to put the link in the chat. You can go to my Teachable and you can have lifetime access to all of the videos. Every single conversation was recorded. You can have lifetime access to all of the recordings and the handouts and the homework and really get involved into this class so that you can learn and, how to walk around in this world feeling good about yourself. Because looking at what's going on in politics and the brink of World War III, this is where we need to be in our wise mind and not be manipulated by fear tactics. Okay, you have to figure out what it is that you can control and what it is that you cannot control. Okay, and you have to also get into a place where you feel good and confident that you are capable of overcoming whatever challenge comes your way. But you can't do it when you're triggered. So these are the things that we've been talking about in this class. And today we're talking about how to unstick yourself when you feel like you've been sticked. You're stuck and it's in your mind. How to trick your brain to be comfortable with you stepping outside of your comfort zone. This is how you become comfortable feeling uncomfortable, because on the other side of this is all of the opportunities that you've been born here to experience. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. I just want to let people know that if you're interested in working with me individually, you can contact me. This is my website, coachingwithdralicia.com. If you want to join my book club, it's absolutely free. You don't have to pay for it. We talk about the essentials of healthy relationships. Every Sunday night, I have a conversation about healthy relationships. So anybody interested in having a healthy relationship, experiencing a healthy relationship, join me on Sunday night. It is free. So draliciabookclub.com. I'm a licensed therapist. I have been licensed for 22 years. I have been doing this for 22 years. I teach adults at my home university all of these things. This is what I've been teaching for 18 years. I've been teaching this in the classroom and I'm bringing it to you guys. So draliciabookclub.com. Also, listen, at the end of this year, we are going to need to recoup. We're going to need to reset ourselves. And what I have done is I have a retreat, escapewithdralicia.com. I have a retreat that I'm hosting. Dr. Boyce will be there and some other interesting guests will be there. So I'm hosting this retreat in December. It's the winter solstice wellness retreat. It is in Costa Rica. The registration is open. It is $500 deposit. And if you put a $500 deposit, you get $500 credited to the rest of the price to go to the retreat. So make sure you go to escapewithdralicia.com. Okay. All right. So let's get back into it. Let's talk about a little bit more about the skill of deep breathing. Some of the things that you can do. I really love box breathing. There's a handout, but the handout is for students. Students in the class get all the handouts and all the homework and all of the readings. But since you're here as my guest, you don't get the handout. But if you want to get the handout, you can definitely go to, you can definitely go and sign up for the handouts. Okay. Let me tell you. So, box breathing is wonderful. You inhale 4, hold for 4 seconds, and then you exhale for 6 seconds, all the way down. And then you inhale for 4, you hold for 4 seconds, and then you exhale for 6. Why? Because science tells us that if you exhale longer than you inhale, that your body instantly starts to slow down. That's what science tells us. If your mind is racing at night before you go to bed, my mind sometimes races. I have to do my to-do list. I get on my phone and I make a to-do list. What do I need to do for tomorrow? I do that to-do list. I put my phone down. And if my mind is continuing racing, do this box breathing. Let this exhale. When you exhale, let that be your anchor. And if you do it long enough, you will fall asleep. Science tells us that you will fall asleep. This is the science behind it. Okay. Another technique that I really enjoy using is called PMR, which is progressive muscle relaxation. That's another technique that I do. And let's all try it together, because PMR teaches your body the difference between tension and release. Okay? So let's demonstrate it. Everybody here, let's clench our fists together real tight. Hold your fists real tight. Tight, tight, tight. And then release and relax. How's that feel? You feel relaxed? Let's everybody raise our shoulders real high. Raise your shoulders to your ears. Hold it, and then release. Let's everybody clench our jaws real tight. Clench our face and our jaws real tight. And then let's unclench our jaws and then release. When you're relaxed like this and you go into some of the things that you've been avoiding, you're teaching your brain capability. This is simple, but not necessarily easy, but it's a very simple answer to facing your fears. You know, example could be after a conflict. You have conflict with your husband over money, and your body is reacting to it. Do some of these things. Relax. And then expose yourself, whatever the task, the exposure task that you've laid out for yourself consciously. If you do this technique and deep breathing and just relaxing your body and staying in it, stay there, don't avoid, stay there, you will start to experience things. Now, when me and my daughter, we go driving, she's driving to Target. She's driving out. We're going and getting dinner. We're going to TJ Maxx together. We went to TJ Maxx. She drove to TJ Maxx. She actually drove on the highway. She was able to expose herself in a relaxed body, and she's learning something new. She now feels like, gosh, Mom, I really can't wait to get my driver's license because I am now ready to drive. She can do it. You can do it too. You can do any of the things that you've been avoiding and putting off. You can do it because stress cannot exist in a relaxed body. So go for it. Ha. Okay. Now, let's take it into real life, because applied relaxation is taking these skills into your real life. Sometimes you need to notice early signs when you start getting worked up, when you start getting anxious. You have to know the early signs. Is it your heart beating? Pay attention to yourself. Is it when your heart beats real fast? Is it when your stomach starts getting butterflies? Is it when you start getting tension? Understanding some of these things early and applying these relaxation skills when you're at a 3 or a 5, and make it portable. So we talked about this. Some of the early signs is your chest could tighten. You start snapping at people. Some people get real irritable when they get anxious. You want to isolate yourself. You want to just keep yourself and you're locked up in your room. You don't have to do that. You can go out. How many of you guys doom scroll? I doom scroll a lot. Some of these things that you do, if you just exhale, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, and get into a soft body, and then proceed to go into this, then you can overcome. You can reach all of your goals. You can take the brave step to start that business and launch things off, and just feeling relaxed and confident. You can sign up for that master's program. You can take little steps, relax, and talk to yourself. Your self-talk is so important. Okay, so I want everybody to, do some of these things. This is some of the homework that I give to the students in the class, the active ingredients of healing. That is the name of the class, the active ingredients to healing. These are things that actually make a difference, evidence-based practice that actually make a difference. This is an example of homework I give out to the students, and I'm checking over your homework to make sure we're learning it. So you have to pick one ladder item my challenge for all of you guys. One ladder item this week. Easy to moderate. Regulate yourself for 2 minutes. Do the exposure. Send the text message. Start the conversation with your husband about money. Do those things anyway. Stay long enough so that your brain can learn something new, and then ask yourself, what did I learn about my ability to cope today? Take one brave step. If you're avoiding making the phone call, your step might be dialing, letting it ring once. That's training. You're training yourself, making those phone calls, or go ahead and doing it and training yourself to do this. I really do think that this is important for you. Y'all can do it. Okay. So I really think the biggest takeaway for today is avoidance is not weakness. Okay? Because you have been avoiding, it does not mean that you're weak. It's protecting you, protecting that outlived purpose. And it's your body's way of protecting you. And we have to understand that. But one small, brave step can build safety over time. So before you go, I want everybody to choose 5% exposure for this week. And let me know how it goes. Reach out to me, whether you join the course or not. I really want you to reach out to me and let me know how that goes. You can reach out to me. How? Go to my website. That's the best way to reach out to me. And just let me know how it goes. How is it going for you? It is, where is my website? I should put it in here. Here it is. coachingwithdralicia.com. Just let me know how it goes. It's an interesting way. If you're ready to join the course, I'll put the link in the chat again. And let me put the link here. That's the link in the chat. There's a discount code connected to that link. Join me. Let me know how it goes. Take one slow breath. You're not behind. You are building capacity. You're building your capacity to do wonderful, amazing things. Okay. Also, again, this is the course. What actually, the active ingredients of healing, what actually helps us get better? What actually helps us get better? We're in the middle of this 14-week course. It's evidence-based practice. I'm a therapist, so I have to do evidence-based practice or I would not be ethical. So I have to give you what we know. You get articles, you get all the handouts, and you have lifetime access to all 14 recordings. So that's what we're doing today. I hope to see you guys. We meet Monday nights, and I want to see all of you, every single one of you. I want to see you on Monday night. Join the class. Take advantage of the discount code. This is master's level information that I'm giving you because that's what I do in my home institution. I teach in the master's program of everybody who wants to be therapists, and I've been doing this for a long time. And so I've been pulling it out of a university wall because in a university, not everybody can join. You got to sign up to the university. So I'm taking all the information out of the university and I'm delivering it here to you. And you can continue to join me. I will, let's see, we meet again on Monday night. I want to see you there. And I want to know, did you make 5% increase every single day? 5%. It only takes 5% every day and it builds. Okay. So let me see. How can I say goodbye to everybody? It's almost the top of the hour. You guys go to Money in the Morning and watch my husband, Dr. Boyce, talk about what is he does? He does Money in the Morning, financial consciousness. Y'all tune into him. He's about to start in a few minutes. And I want to thank everybody for joining. I see y'all in the chat. I see y'all. I want to see y'all Monday morning. Monday morning is what you need. Let me tell you, by the end of this year, the way things are going, in the first 3 months of the year, you definitely want to join me in Costa Rica because we are going to be able to decompress from 2026. It's the Winter Solstice Wellness Retreat. It is hosted by me. I've been a licensed therapist for 22 years. I have been teaching at a university as a full professor of social work for 18 years. You're going to get all of that at this retreat, and you're going to walk away feeling better, feeling like we can shed ourselves from this up and down of 2026 and go into the new year as a new and just relaxed person, feeling good about ourselves. So I hope to see you on Monday. I hope to see y'all in Costa Rica. Be sure to sign up because there's limited spots and we have a few people already signed up. So make sure you get yourself in there. It's just $500 to reserve your space at the retreat. And you get a credit of $500 when you reserve before March 15th. So go over and watch my husband preach to y'all at 9 a.m. or at the top of the hour. And I'll see y'all later. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Let's see. Who am I saying goodbye to? Goodbye, Celia. Goodbye, Melanated Rich Canva. Yes. Goodbye, Amanda. Goodbye. Good luck to you beyond the business. I want to hear from you how it's been going. Bye, everybody.